out the way. All right. So, hello, welcome, and welcome back. Now, y'all, I just recorded this live, and you would not believe what happened. I just recorded the live, and come to find out, the Bluetooth was connected to the phone, so no one could hear me. Now, what's funny about that is that even without hearing me, because I was doing my hair, there were 3 people that subscribed and 13 people that came into the video. That's like the best analytics for this whole like live spree I'm doing. So anyway, I'm here again. So my hair has been done. I was doing my hair to get ready for the evening, and I was going to put it in a ponytail for work tomorrow. But anyway, we are here to talk about natural hair, the natural hair community, and now you can hear me. Okay, so basically, I'll keep this one more short because I've already been on there for 50 minutes, right? So basically, in talking about the natural hair community, it's a really cool topic to me because it's something that I actually started to really watch and to learn from back in the early 2000s. That being 2009, 2010 was my first introduction to the natural hair community by way of YouTube and by way of the, I think it was like Jane Naturals. I forget the name of the product, but I think that is the very first one. So yeah, that was that, and it was really cool because to see somebody who was on YouTube, talking about like a product line and then going to a store and actually seeing that was really, really nice. I really did like that. So moving forward, as far as products are concerned, we get more into tutorials. We're getting more into wash days and gels and creams and leave-ins. We have really a whole new plethora of products to really get into, right? And the question is, what happened to the young ladies who were really pioneers in the natural hair community that I used to watch, that you used to watch, right? I remember them, I can see them, right? And I really enjoyed their videos. I did. But a lot of them grew up and grew out of the YouTube content because a lot of them actually did the natural hair content as a supplemental income while they were in college. That is really to me, a very common story of some of the natural hair people that we know from the original, days of making hair content. Well, they graduated, they got married, they had kids, life happened, right? And so, just like in a job that you work at, in person, people quit. They quit, they do other things, right? And so that's essentially what happened to the original people. And then, as time goes on, what ends up happening is that, marketing comes into play. Now, the thing about that original hair care community, the natural hair community, is that they did start to coin phrases and terms such as co-washing and pre-pooing and different things like this. These things actually made their way to the main market, and it really helped to structure the new wave of products on the natural or afro hair textured hairline in the stores. And at the time, I was actually working in a local pharmacy here, and I could see the switch happening. It used to be a lot of heat styling products and a lot of relaxers on the aisle. You had your pick of relaxers. Well, then we get into this time where we have more than relaxers, right? Now relaxers are moving down to the bottom of the aisles, and what's taking the spots of these relaxers is all these leave-ins, these creams, these butters, these oils. And that was really cool. It was really cool watching that whole like thing evolve and really seeing how the internet essentially changed the aisles of your local pharmacy, the natural hair aisle, the local pharmacy, right? And so anyway, that being the case, it has some really, really good positive impacts that it still has until this day. And it was really cool to be a part of some of the blogs and the vlogs that happened back then. I actually really like one of the blogs too that I used to read. And I think that's cool too because people don't do a lot of writing anymore. But I think it was really cool to read that particular blog and learn about a lot of different things. And before podcasting was podcasting, it was kind of like they were interviewing different people and having conversations. And so some of the same things that we're doing now in different different, media outlets were already being done back then, just in a different way. So yes, as time progresses, you move into a new space, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I mean, the internet itself, social media itself has only been around for so long. And so what ends up happening with that is now that we have all the product lines, now we have to try them, right? And so that's what ended up happening there, where, the original creators, they were, really creating out of the love of their hair and getting to know their hair and getting to know their natural texture, to where the next wave of creators were really getting into the money. They were getting to the coins of showing you the products, getting the sponsorships, right? And getting the affiliate links. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's absolutely fine. I love that. I love that we still have the opportunity to do that today. Even in this video, we're going to share some of the products. And so, you get into like the next phase. You have like that exploratory phase of people exploring their natural hair and just really sharing out of a hobby, out of a need for creativity. And I'm sure they were making some money as well, but not as much as people today are, right? And then you have the next phase, which is like that middle phase, where now we have explored. Now we're kind to, we're like, we have some knowledge behind us, and now we're actually putting this into implementation. And that's where some of the natural hair community actually started to be there would start to be actual curators of products, because not only were they using it on their hair, but it worked for their hair. So they start using it on their friends and their family, and then they made it a brand. We can name many that actually happened to. So one of the biggest pioneers actually has her own hair care brand when it comes to the natural hair community, which I actually need to try. So anyway, that is essentially what happened. Either, like I said, they grew up and grew out of YouTube, or they grew on with it and they grew into the whole digital marketing era of it and the whole affiliate and ambassadorship and things like that. They just kept on going with the career of YouTube and the career of social media. It has changed so much over time. So you see that. Now I feel like we're in the third phase of this, where, in that middle phase, there was a lot of people talking about, where should you do oils? Should you do butter? Should you do coconut oil? All the different conversations to be had. And the beauty of it is that it really opened up the conversation. And, unfortunately, sometimes when you have a lot of conversation around one thing, it can be misused, right? So people can actually take it to heart and overuse the product, use it incorrectly. Like, you're not at home with this person using this product. And that's part of the problem. That gets me into the next thing that was part of the problem, which was people stopped going to professional cosmetologists. So in place of getting a relaxer, okay, well, I'm gonna let my relaxer grow out, and now I'm gonna get all these products, right? Whether you're natural or you're chemically treated, there is going to be a process to keep your hair healthy, to keep your hair growing, right? There needs to be a cleansing phase, a conditioning phase, and a styling phase, no matter chemical or not chemical. And so that being the case, it was unfortunate, because I feel like there was a little bit of a gap between people going natural and then the actual cosmetologists not being able to keep up with the speed of lightning that was happening on the internet. And so they're not able to quickly, make that transition into offering these natural hair services, which now we get into this area now, right, in 2025, where, yeah, you do have cosmetologists who have made the switch. They do specialize in natural hair. They do specialize, in wash and goes and different things like that. And so they've caught up, essentially. Some people actually, unfortunately, during this time had to stop doing hair. They had to stop having their shop, because people stopped coming to them. People stopped getting their hair done. The girls were doing their hair at home up until they learned that they may have been doing some things wrong and really causing more damage than anything else. And I'll say this to say, how could someone ever believe that doing their hair on their own would make their hair healthier than going to an actual professional? Well, I will tell you how they believe that. They believe that because a lot of the people who were on the internet sharing natural hair tips, as time went on, what the ladies caught up to is that if they were naturally inclined to have long, thick, healthy hair, instead of saying this is my DNA, they were saying this product, right? And so when you see this long, thick, and healthy hair, and you see an oil, and just grab something like, an oil along with that, you think, oh yeah, well, I should get that because it worked for them. No, what worked for them was their DNA. right? And that's where you got that's where you kind of have a little bit of the slope down, because at first, it was all different hair types and all different lengths, and then it just kind of moved into one curl texture and one length, right? Everybody wants hair down here. Everybody wants curls that are like, shiny like glass. And that's not an afro, so that's the thing. People have to find the beauty in their own texture, their own DNA, their own hair that grows from their scalp, right? And so that's what ended up happening, is that people started to catch on, like, hey, I'm sitting in my living room and my hair is in the middle of my back. I need some extra money. Let me go make a YouTube video and let me just use these products. And, then the brands are going to be there too, because the brands also know that, hey, people are listening to this person, right? So I feel like sometimes you have some dishonesty in the conversation, and that is an unfortunate thing, because again, you have the misleading, the dishonesty leading to the improper use of some of these products, right? Not enough science and a lot of influence. So that's essentially what happened in the middle, And so now I feel like we're in number 3. We're in phase 3 to me. But to me, this is my opinion. We're in phase 3. Phase 3 is where the exploration phase and the knowledge phase are now meeting wisdom. And wisdom is the application of knowledge. And so now we have been equipped to read the back of the ingredients. We have been equipped to understand that we need a cosmetologist on our side to cut our ends, to keep our hair healthy in between these, natural hairstyles. We understand we need a professional in our hair to make sure that we're keeping it growing and keeping it healthy. We get it. So I feel like now we're rolling back around to what we need, and it's balanced now. So it's not just go out and buy the first thing. We don't necessarily just buy a product because it says it's good for natural hair. We don't, buy into like the front packaging of all these things that it says. We know to turn that bottle around and to read those ingredients, okay, down here, right? And to see the first 5 ingredients, what are they? Because that's what's in this product. It could have 15 ingredients. What are the first 5? Essentially, what are the first 2, right? We get it now. And that's the beauty of it. It took time to get there, but we're there. So, now that we're there, that has made way for companies and brands and natural hair enthusiasts to focus on making plant-based products for our hair, things that are actually healthy, like they were doing at the very beginning, right? Before you had the whole marketing move, the whole marketing economy, get into it. So now people are getting back to that. People are getting back to the plant-based, the vegan, the toxic-free product line, because they have learned that, when it comes to chemicals, it's not just relaxers that could be chemically damaging, but also other ingredients that are in natural hair products can also be, estrogen mimickers, and they could be, very dangerous too, for the skin, for the body, internally and externally. So people are getting this. And the beauty of that is that now we have even more selection in the market for things that are plant-based, for things that are, yes, plant-based, and for things that are actually healthy for our hair. So yeah, that's that conversation. I feel like that's where we are. That's the conversation. There are so many things to be said about it that are being said about it on the internet, but I choose to talk about it in a positive manner because I do think that it all had positivity to it. I think, like I said, unfortunately, people, took advantage of, some of the marketing parts of it. And because that, like I said, you had some miseducation and some misuse over the years, and unfortunately some hair loss, but now we understand, which I always understood. I always had a professional hairstylist because I didn't go to school for that. They did. So I've always respected that because I think that's a very cool profession, being a cosmetologist. But now we working together. We have these conversations together. Cosmetologists are starting to come out with their own lines, okay, which leads me into the actual product haul, or the stash we're going to talk about today. So I want to talk about my product hair stash. And now, listen, like I said, I was on a live 49 minutes ago, okay? So I'm not going through all this again, but I will go through the main things that I do love. So I want to really start with the products that I've linked below, because this particular cosmetologist and creator is someone who made a product line for a really good reason, based on her actual clientele. They were requesting hair care that was safe because they have, an autoimmune disorder, or they are suffering with some type of oncology diagnosis. So they need something to really help their hair, but also not make their whole hormonal situation even worse. So that is the birth of, why this brand started. So knowing the CEO's story, also working with the CEO was really cool too, because if you don't know, it's okay. But I did digital marketing work for brands, and that's, kind of how I landed in the digital marketing space. So I had my own agency. Within the agency, I did work with, woman-owned, woman-led brands on the internet, essentially helping them market and place their products on the internet. So this first brand that we have up is going to be Recover Restore Grow. Okay, now I use this pretty much faithfully, and I love it. I use different hair products, so don't get me wrong. I don't just use one line, but I do use one type of ingredient, and that's healthy plant-based for the most part. So what we're gonna talk about here is the shampoo, which is sulfate free, and that's this right here. Okay. Now I want to highlight that within all of Recover Restore Grow products, there is an ingredient that is weaved throughout all of the products, and that is going to be aloe vera juice. Okay, so the very first ingredient in most of the products is aloe vera juice, not water, aloe vera juice. Awesomeness. Very minimal product as well. So aloe vera juice, black castor seed oil, and then also rice bran oil. So already a really nice mixture of protein and moisture. So very good for the hair. Like I said, this you can get fragrance free. But even the fragrance here, to me, just smells just like California. I always say that it smells like California. And I love California. And the brand owner happens to be in California. So there's that. Now, the next thing we have is the hydrating conditioner. And it is just that. It's a hydrating conditioner. So I actually use this, or I'll use a deep conditioner, right? So I prefer a deep conditioner most often, but when I'm using this entire line, I go ahead and use the hydrating conditioner. Again, first ingredient, aloe vera juice. And then you go on to have shea butter. You go on to have fatty acids, black castor seed oil. Wonderful ingredients, guys, wonderful. And I personally love the smell of the products, but I will say this, on the conditioner, there is no fragrance. It is, you're gonna smell like you. So there you have it, just FYI, right? You can get everything fragrance free, but the conditioner is fragrance free. So the next thing is gonna be the leave-in treatment. Love this. This is probably, we're getting into like my favorite parts of the line. I love the shampoo and the stylers. I only have 2 stylers here, but there's also a mousse that I love. There's cucumber extract. Amazing. Okay, so this is the leave-in treatment. Now this, again, you can get it fragrance free, but girl, I prefer the fragrance because it's clean. Okay. California. Yes. So aloe vera juice, rosemary, fatty acids, okay, black castor seed oil, sweet almond oil. I mean, up until the end. All right. And let me show you the ingredients list. Like, look at that. This is the list right here, y'all. Do you see that? Compared to, I want to show you compared to. I want to show you. So this is something that I use too, right? Now I want you to look at this ingredients list. Hold on. Let's see if you can see it. This is the ingredients list right there. That compared to this. So you see the difference we're working with here, right? So yes. Now, does this brand have gel? Not at the moment, but that doesn't mean they will not in the future. You never know. People will get creative, right? So the next thing in the line is the Luxe Curl Cream. This is really good too. I will say though that one of the active ingredients in here is coconut oil. So if coconut oil is not your thing, then this might not be for you. But if you're okay with coconut oil, then this actually has the aloe vera juice, coconut oil. It has fatty acids, as I mentioned before. It also has slippery elm root. That is something that makes this so good, the slippery elm root, right? So this is that right here. I'm almost done with it. I love this. I use this in connection with the leave-in treatment. And then the products work really well with this particular gel that I love, this Odell. And I think it's really great because they're all plant-based, right? So excuse me, that is a brand that I use, and I have linked everything that I showed you below the video. You can actually save 20% with my code. You can save 20% anytime probably, but you can definitely save with my code, and it supports the channel, it supports me. And I promise you, these products are so clean and so healthy for your hair. It's healthy for all hair types. Definitely check out the ingredients list before pressing, purchase. But check out the website, check out the story, right? So it's all linked for you below individually, and I've grouped it together as well. So I want to talk about that. Those are those products. But I also want to talk about gel, because I know the girls love gel, right? I don't have any gel in my hair, by the way. There's no gel. No gel. I have mousse. But let's talk about these gels. I only have 3, okay? And when it comes to fine hair and gel, I have to be really careful because my hair is fine. So it's either going to make my hair super sticky because of the glycerin, or it's going to make it super crunchy because of the alcohol and whatever else is in it. So it has to be a nice formulation. So I like to use, like I showed you before, this one right here. If you've seen this one in the store, this is a really good one. This is one you can actually reapply throughout the week, and it does not have those flakes. I always use my gel with water. Always. So any gel I'm using with water, okay? So that's just a must, right? And then the next gel I've been using for years, and this one is the Curl Maker with marshmallow and agave leaf extract by Camille Rose. I love this curl maker. People talk about this being flaky, and yes, it can be flaky if you use too much. Also, if you don't use it with water. So yeah, and you have to be careful with what you're using under it. So I think that's the key too. You have to experiment a little bit, right? But I do like that gel. Very softening. I have used it, and my wash days have lasted the entire 7 days. And my hair like grows bigger over time and gets softer. So it does have glycerin. So you do have like a little bit of that film, but not too much of a film, right? Then we have the Big Papa. This is the defining gel, the Dew. And this one right here, I'm almost done with that too. This is another one. This is one that I do not need a lot of. On fine hair, it will weigh my hair down if I use too much of it. But I definitely like to activate it with the water, this right here. And I usually like to use this kind of like on the front of the hair, not too much. Like if I'm doing the little twist or whatever like that, I'll use it there or something like that. But not on every section, because it gives me too much of a film that I'm not really a fan of. But I do love the smell. And I do love the effectiveness and the shine of this particular gel. So it does work, right? And that's all of the gels that I have, right? So now I think I want to share with you guys some inexpensive things, just in case you're new to natural hair and you're getting into natural hair. You want to go to your local pharmacy, you want to pick up some stuff, and you don't want to spend like arm and a leg, right? Some things I've discovered is, number 1, water. I'll keep saying that because water is just everything. Like, I feel like water is just like the catalyst to all the products. So water, a nice spray bottle. This mister, like if you spray this, yeah, it continues to spray. It's a continuous sprayer. I love this. This is great for refreshing. And this is what I did to get the look that you see now that I did on the live I did before this, where the sound was off. Yeah. So this is the Olive Miracle African Pride. These are all African Pride products, by the way. So African Pride Olive Miracle Foam Setting Mousse. Again, these do have a lot of ingredients, so I'm not going to sit here and say that this is like the absolute cleanest, or the absolute least amount of ingredients. No, but they do have good key ingredients, and I have used this on my hair and I love it. So this is that right here. Again, you can reapply this throughout the week if you need to, but remember, we're going to get into shampoo too, because I do want to share that before I leave, because that's kind of important. We want to remember that when we're using these gels and things of this nature, we have to cleanse our hair. We have to clarify our hair, not co-wash our hair. We have to clarify our hair, okay? So the next thing, the African Pride line that I love, is the pre-shampoo. Definitely not something that you have to have, but I feel like it's really fun. It is aloe and coconut water based, and this is what it looks like. It's you've seen it online, right? This right here is fun. It does do the job. To me, what it does, it really helps to detangle the hair. When I've used it, it tends to me to like really separate the curls very like individually. It's interesting. So if you use it, the only thing I can say about this is that it is very messy. So it would be nice if it was actually like in a pump like this. It would be kind of cool because you can control the use of it. It is a little messy, but yeah. but it is effective. And it's only like $5, or under 10. And then we have the Moisture Miracle Shea Butter and Flaxseed Oil Moisturizing Cream Curling Cream. Can you say all that again? So that's this right here. And I love this too. Very little goes a long way. You don't need a whole lot on a section. It's the perfect consistency for fine hair that's densely packed like mine. It's not too heavy. It's not too thin. The smell is not overbearing. And you can reapply it throughout the week. Again, you do not need a whole bunch. That's one of the problems with, natural hair products and stuff like that. People use too much. So just remember not to be so heavy-handed. But I want to talk about shampoo. So when you're using these products, when you're using all this like gel and these moisturizers and stuff like that, you have got to clarify your hair, guys. That's one of the biggest problems that the natural hair care community had when it came to the oils and the butters and all the things. They were never lifting that stuff off of their scalp and their hair, and that the debris that is left on the scalp is just monumental, causing everything to be, really closed up, and then you're not having the follicle is not free to open to grow, essentially. So what you're growing out of that follicle is something that is not very healthy. And so that's why it's so important to find a clean shampoo and to find a hydrating and also something that is clarifying. So in addition to the Recover Restore Gro, which this one you can shampoo twice and get a really good cleanse, but you can also use this with a clarifier. So the first thing before anything on wash day is going to be the Free Will Clarifying Detox Shampoo. And it can be any clarifying one that you want, okay? But this one right here is really good because it's a clean formula, it's cruelty-free, it's vegan, it's naturally scented. So you can smell the tea tree, you can smell the rosemary, you can smell all the things, and it works. So when I use this, it did not get my hair, how do I say this? It is like a squeaky clean, but it's not like a, oh my goodness, my hair's gonna fall out squeaky clean, right? It's a good squeaky clean. When I say good, I mean you can feel that your hair is clean, but it's not stripping all of that natural oil, but it is getting off the product, and you'll see the difference. You will feel the difference. And so doing the clarifying detox shampoo is a winner. You do this, and if you ever do a detox shampoo like this, you always follow up with a moisturizing shampoo. So that could be either this one right here, or it could be the Recover Restore Gro, okay? Now, I want to talk about this one. This is For You by Tia. This is another brand that I love that's inexpensive. I can find this at my local Walmart. And if you have fine afro texture hair that's coily like mine, the For You by Tia moisturizing line is everything you need. I love it. The moisturizing shampoo, A+. The moisturizing conditioner, A+. I have it right here. As you can see, I loved it, right? These two together, amazing. Okay, amazing. Your hair will feel so good. The Hemi 15 science in these products, because these are silicone-free products, but the Hemi 15 takes place of the silicone, and it's so nice. Like these two together really do calls for a really soft feel on the hair, and that slippery sliding that you want on the hair. So yes, detox, remember, you want to get rid of this stuff on the hair, and then you want to moisturize shampoo, and then you want to condition and or deep condition. The only deep conditioner that I have right now in my possession is going to be one. That's going to be the Giovanni hair mask. I love it. It's right here. I'm almost done with it. Okay. There you see it? Yeah. I'm going to get some more, probably. It's the only one I have. I don't have a whole bunch of deep conditioners. Once I find one that I like, I stick with it until they change the formula, because unfortunately, sometimes brands change formulas. So this one right here, I absolutely love. So if you're looking for a good hair mask that is, not too heavy on your fine hair, I would definitely say the smoothing castor oil is a winner for that. So yeah. All right, so that's all I'm going to share here. Okay, now I do have the links to my Curly Girl natural hair products and stuff like that. I have that below the video. I think everything I talked about is actually linked below the video. So the Recover Restore Gro line is linked specifically because I want you guys to really try that out. And also just get everything you want in that line. Like I said, you save 20%. So go ahead and do that. But like I said, if you're new to natural hair, you just want to try some different things real quick, real fast for under like 20 bucks, then these three right here are a winner. Again, I have these linked below as well. So yes, that's all that I have for the video, guys. Hopefully it was a nice conversation. I would have to say that the very first take of this video was, to me, more plentiful, but it is later. And yeah, we have more to talk about in other videos. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Okay, if you want to see my hair up close, there you have it. Also, this channel right here is not my natural hair channel. My natural hair channel is actually Carob Coco, which I will be linking in the description below. Go over there and follow that channel if you want to, if you're into natural hair, only if you want to. And then I also have my actual natural hair wash days, like me actually washing my hair and using the products and seeing the result over on Instagram and TikTok, same handle, Carob Coco. So I will link all that below the video. It's been fun. Hope you guys have a peaceful and productive rest of your evening. And I will talk to you on the next upload. Let's turn this thing off. I was like, where are you turning it off at?